Hi, my name is Dr. Laura Pate, and I'm a chiropractic physician in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I've been bringing you stretching and starting to incorporate some strength videos for demonstration purposes only. You may see some of my pets join me today in the stretching video. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to walk you through an elongated stretch focusing on the hips. So you can also view my shorter videos for suggestions, or if you're just beginning, and if you wanted a little bit longer of a routine to practice maybe every day or several days a week, this is what I would recommend. So I'm going to ask my chocolate lab to go lay down. I'm going to start in a standing position. Ideally, I would have warmed up first, doing some gentle jumping jacks, maybe go for a walk or do something on the bike. So if you haven't done that, I would pause and warm your muscles up a little bit. I'm going to start by just standing straight. I'm on a yoga mat. I'm going to reach my hands up to the ceiling and stretch tall, and then swan dive down to touch my toes. Just relaxing, letting my head drop. Shake it yes, shake it no. Feeling a stretch in my hamstrings and my calves. If you can touch your toes or the ground, that's great. If you can, don't stress it. You can bend your knees a little bit if you want to, just to get that low back stretch. I'm just going to hold it, and then I'm going to alternate straightening out one knee at a time. So right now my left knee is straight, and I feel a stretch along the posterior aspect of my leg and my IT band. And then I'm going to switch and straighten the right leg, bend the left knee. And then I'm going to bend both and kneel down to stretch my low back. I'm going to straighten, and then I'm going to move my fingers about halfway up my shins, keeping my back flat, and I'm going to look forward to stretch a little bit more, and then forward fold again. Taking a deep breath in, and rise up, and exhale back down. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to turn to the side and go into a downward dog. First, I'm going to move my dog so that you can see. So I'm going to start the same way. Deep breath in, swan dive down. Here I'm going to go into a downward facing dog. I'm going to plant my hands on the ground, put one foot back at a time, toes curled under, and go into that downward dog. If you're unfamiliar with this position, I do have a video on it. And I'm just going to pedal out my legs, straightening one leg at a time, stretching out the calves and the hamstrings, and then hold for about 5 breaths. So you want to feel like you're sticking your bottom towards the ceiling. Your elbows are forward, pushing back from those fingers. Feeling a stretch. From here, I'm going to lift my right leg and go into a pigeon. Again, I do have a video on this as well. So right now I'm targeting the glutes and piriformis in this pigeon pose on my right side and stretching out my hip flexors on the left. You can stay in this position if that's comfortable. You can also go down into the forearms or even rest your head if that's comfortable for you. And just take some nice deep breaths, again feeling the stretch in the right hip and buttock and left hip flexor, the front part of your hip. So I'm just going to take some nice deep breaths in and out, holding this posture. From here I'm going to add in my quads by doing the screaming pigeon, which I also have a video on. So I'm going to bend my left leg and take my left hand to catch my ankle and hold this, now incorporating the left quadricep or front of the thigh. I'm going to hold this for a few breaths. I'm going to release my ankle and then push myself back into a downward dog. I'm gonna hold this for 3 breaths. I'm going to lift my left leg and bring my knee forward into that pigeon posture on the left side. Again, you can move your hands however they're comfortable. You can stay here just with your hands down. You can go to your forearms or all the way down on it if you want to lay your head. This time I'm feeling the left hips and glutes and my right hip flexors, or the front of my right thigh and hip. I'm going to hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. I'm going to go into the screaming pigeon on the right by using my right hand and grabbing my right ankle. And now I'm getting more of the quadricep and hip flexors on the right, while still feeling quite a stretch in my left hips and gluteal area. Going to release. And this time, I'm just going to sit on my mat. Now I'm going to go into stretching my low back by getting into a hurdler's position. I'm going to straighten my right leg, bending my left leg and my left foot is along the inside of my right thigh. I'm just going to raise my left arm and move it over towards my right foot, stretching my low back. You can kind of monkey with the angle. Wherever you feel the most stretch in your back is good. Just try to relax your neck and shoulders as you hold this. And I'm just going to rise back up and switch sides. Now I'll be stretching the right side of my low back, extending my left leg straight, lifting my right arm and going up and over towards my left foot. Again, if it feels good to you, you can kind of look under your right arm. You can kind of square your hips more to the left leg and reach that way. However you're feeling that stretch the best in the right side of your low back. We're going to hold for 3 more breaths. I'm going to sit tall again. Now this time I'm going to move into my inner thighs or my adductor muscles by going into a basic butterfly stretch. Again, there's a short video on this as well. So I'm going to try to bring my heels in as close as possible, as comfortable into my groin, and then just letting my knees hang down. Now you can sit tall and kind of bend forward. We're really feeling a stretch again in adductors or the inner thighs. If you want to incorporate a little bit more low back, you can take your hands and put them under your ankles towards your feet and bend forward. Just relax the shoulders. So here I feel inner thighs and my low back. And I'll do 1 more breath. Sit back up. Now I'm going to turn to my side and continue working on my hips and glutes. This is the seated figure 4 stretch. I have a video for this specifically. I'm going to put my right ankle on my left knee, bring my left foot as close as I can to my left bottom, pushing up with my hands, sitting tall, and I can feel a stretch in my right glute. I like to roll out my ankle as well. Just, it's a little bit different of a stretch. I'm going to hold this for about 10 more seconds. Never want to hold your breath. Want to take nice deep breaths in and out. And from here, I'm going to lower my left leg onto the ground and keep my right knee bent and move it towards my left hip. Sit really tall with my left arm. I'm going to hug my right knee in. With my right arm, I'm going to put it behind me and stretch. So I'm sitting up tall and rotating to the right. I feel a stretch in my right gluteal and hips area, a little bit in the IT band. Nice stretch for rotation in your thoracic spine. And hold for 2 more breaths. And from here, I'm going to rotate forward, put my right knee on top of my left knee. I'm going to sit tall and walk my fingertips forward. Again, still focusing on that hip and glute stretch. I'm going to hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. Be sure to relax your head and neck. I'm going to slowly walk my fingertips back and rise up. If you wanted even more gluteal stretching, you can also move right into fire log pose, as it's called in yoga. But I just put my right leg, my knee bent parallel on top of my left. My right ankle is on my left knee, and my right knee is above my left ankle. Again, you can sit tall and just walk your fingertips forward. Again, feeling the stretch in the right hip, glutes, a little bit in the low back. This one can be pretty intense. Make sure to keep your right ankle flexed. You can do that by keeping your left arm on your toes so it's not moving around. So you can hold that one as well for 3 to 5 breaths, relaxing your head and neck. When you're done, you just slowly get back up, and we'll repeat on the other side. So I'm going to put my feet flat, and this time I'm going to use my left ankle and put it on my right knee. Bring my right foot as close as possible to my bottom, push my hands up to sit tall, and just hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. I like to rotate my ankle. I'm feeling this on my left gluteal and hip area. Do a little neck mobility while you're stretching your hips as well. Make sure you're not holding your breath, clenching your jaw. There's a big correlation between jaw clenching and tightness and hip tightness. You can open and close your mouth to loosen it. Now I'm going to drop my right leg, going into the twist. So I'm going to put my right arm up and hug my left knee in while I rotate to the left, holding for 3 to 5 breaths. Again, I feel this on my left hip and glutes. From here, I'm going to do knee over knee. So once my left knee is over my right, I'm going to sit tall, walk my fingertips forward. However far you can go down and still feel that stretch is great. You may not get very far, and that's okay. With time, you should continue to increase your range of motion. When you're ready, you're going to walk your fingertips back up. I'm going to go back into that fire log pose by putting my left ankle on my right knee. My left knee is over my right ankle. Again, I'm going to sit tall, my fingertips forward, kind of keeping my right arm on my left foot so it doesn't plantar flex too much. I want to keep it dorsiflexed, and just walk forward. Again, feeling the stretch in your left hip and glutes. You can angle a little bit to the left as well to feel it more. This side is very tight on me, so this intensifies the stretch nicely. When you're ready, go back forward and then slowly move up to a seated position. Now we did the backs of the legs, the low back, we did the inner thighs, the hips and the glutes. We did a little bit of hip flexors, but that is where I'm going to finish, and I like to finish my stretching. So I'm going to return to an all fours position and end up in a nice lunge to stretch again the hip flexors, which are the anterior muscles. So I'm going to step forward with my left foot. You can use blocks if you feel unstable, or a piece of furniture. And I'm going to lean forward, stretching out my right hip flexor. If you want, you can raise your arms. You can even lean to the left, intensifying the stretch of these muscles, your iliopsoas. I'm going to hold for 3 to 5. A little trick too, if you contract your gluteal muscle, the opposite muscle, it sometimes can help you get a little bit deeper and really elongate the opposing muscle. You can also do this with your knee up and your feet down like this, or up here, all stretching the hip flexors, wherever you're comfortable. Now after I hold that for 3 to 5 reps, I like to go into the opposite hamstring by simply straightening my left leg and leaning back. And I put my hands forward again. If you want blocks, that could be very, very helpful. But here I'm stretching my left hamstring and calves. You may be able to touch your toes, trying to keep my back as straight as possible. And then I like to alternate a few times, going back and forth between the hip flexor and the hamstring on the opposite leg. If that feels good to you, you can keep doing that. I am going to switch sides. Now I'm bringing my right foot forward, leaning into it, stretching my left hip flexor, leaning over to the right with my left arm. Just taking some nice deep breaths in and out, really trying to give the muscle time to elongate and holding it in that position. If it hurts, back off. A little bit of uncomfortable stretching feeling is okay. Now remember, if you want to intensify it or just get a different angle, you can put your hand down, hands, or you can go all the way up, keeping the knee up, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then you can go into the alternating hamstring, back to hip flexor. I'm going to go ahead and drop my knee. I feel my hamstrings a little more when my knee's down. Bend over. And you can, again, keep alternating if that feels good. So that is a routine that I do almost daily. Sometimes I change it up a little bit, but really trying to stretch out all the muscles that are attaching into my pelvis for a healthy low back. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like the video and subscribe. Bye.